Hi everyone, I'm Sweet Melba. Thanks for joining me on the porch. Well, happy Father's Day to all the fathers and happy first day of summer. So it just felt like summer this weekend for us. We had different activities going on and nothing we had to do, which was nice. It was a weekend we could kind of just do what we wanted to do. So we had a good time, and we went to a concert and had some nice dinners out, and also visiting with my parents. So it was nice. But I also felt like, I need to start decorating for the 4th of July. It's extra special this year with the 250th. So I thought I would dig out all of my 4th of July decorations, see what I had and what I might still want. So I thought I'd share a little bit about my decorating for the 250th this year for the 4th of July. But I also wanted to maybe share a little about some of the 4th of Julys that I really remember growing up as a kid and how those were fun. So I hope you'll join me. So, as I said, we had a pretty busy weekend, felt a lot like summer. So, we kind of celebrated Father's Day on Friday. My parents were down and stayed the night. So, we had dinner together, which was nice. Just, watching some TV and talking. So, it was really nice. And then Saturday, our local area here, we have an outdoor concert series that starts. This time. This was the first opening show, and we had a fun time with that. There's always, the community really comes out again. It's free, and it's just a diverse mix of music. So it's every Saturday evening. Starts at 7. There's an opening act, and it was surf music was the opening act, and then the main act was a group called the Red Elvises. You've never seen the Red Elvises, it was fun. Look them up on YouTube. It was just a lot of fun. They had the audience going, clapping, waving their hands, dancing. It was just a lot of fun. So we had a good time with that. And we had some friends that came along, and we always pick up dinner and take it with us with our lawn chairs to enjoy the show and get dessert there. So it was a fun time. So it was a great way to kick off the first official weekend of summer. So we're looking forward to hoping going to most of them, although in July we'll be gone celebrating my retirement. So we'll be out of town, but we'll try to catch as many as we can. So you're probably maybe going to some concerts too. If you have some lined up, we'd love to hear what those are. So if you'd like to share in the comments who you're going to see this year. A week ago Friday, we actually went and saw a tribute band for AC/DC, and they were called Noise Pollution. That was a lot of fun too. I mean, all of those songs just come back to you, right? And singing those. So it was a fun time. So again, I'd love to hear what concerts you're going to as the summer gets going and who you're looking forward to seeing this year. So, but the other thing, as I mentioned, was I kind of felt like I needed to get out the decorations for the 4th of July. So I'm going to share some of my decorations and kind of how things turned out and getting that all set up. So you may be already decorating too. So I know it's a special one this year with the 250. So I think some people are decorating a little early. I know I'd seen a few places here in my neighborhood who were already decorated, and I thought, oh, I better get on it. So that's what I did. So I'll share a little bit of that decorations here in just a minute. And I made a thrift store stop too to pick up a few extra things. So that was fun. But I also wanted to spend a little time talking about just 4th of July's that I remember growing up as a kid. I think we always kind of look back, well, we did this or that. But where I grew up in Southern California, smaller community in Ventura County, our high school, they shot off the fireworks from there. So this was at a time when there weren't neighborhoods all around the school. There were a lot of empty fields and empty parking lots and things were all around that you could go park to watch the fireworks. So that's what we always did. And I probably started doing that when I was, I don't know, maybe 7, 8, something like that. But that's what most everybody did, was go and find a great parking spot and bring dinner. You could sit on your car or whatever, get your lawn chairs out, and watch the fireworks. So for us, our traditional dinner that we always seemed to get, at least that I remember, was getting Kentucky Fried Chicken. So we didn't have that very often, but that was kind of a special treat. And my mom would make an extra special dessert too to bring. So, the neighborhood kids would come along, and we'd get there early and get the good spot so we could see the fireworks perfectly. And we typically, as I remember, would go in our pajamas too. So, if only we could go to parties now in our pajamas. Anyway, um, that's what we did. So we did that a lot. And as we got older, we started to have parties at our house. So we lived on cul-de-sac street, and we lived at the end. So for 4th of July and some other holidays, we would just block off the end of the street. And so that the cars that were coming down would turn before they got to the end of the circle. And we'd have volleyball set up, and everybody, at their driveways, front lawns, everybody would set up their own little thing, and you could go and visit the different people there, in the neighborhood. And the people that lived on the upper part of the street, they would come down, and we would barbecue, and we'd set up our own like little mini bar. And I made margaritas quite a lot. The other drink for us was tequila sunrises for a long time. But then my mom found a great recipe for Southern Comfort Punch, and that was great. So I haven't made it in a long time, but if you've never had that, look that up online. If I can find the recipe, actually, you know what? I have the recipe. I'll type it and I'll put it in there, in the description. It's good. But a warning on that. If that's your going to be your 4th of July drink, or any other time, really, it catches up to you faster than you think because it's sweet. It's mixed with orange juice. And so it's sweet and it's just so refreshing. But, anyways, we used to have that all the time. So, again, heads up, don't drink too many, it'll catch up with you very quickly. But we always had that. So, margaritas, tequila sunrises, Southern Comfort Punch. My dad typically would barbecue, slow roast, um, a pork shoulder, and we'd have pulled pork sandwiches, or we'd have ribs, and we made it kind of a potluck. And then, like I say, some people just kind of set up their barbecue, and that's what my dad did. He'd pull the barbecue out from the backyard, set it on the driveway, and we'd put up a tent, and we'd have flags, and by the time evening came around, we had our sparklers, and my dad would get some fireworks, which were not allowed, but he did get them, and set those off. And for the most part, I don't really remember anything bad happening with that. Again, now you think, oh gosh, we shouldn't have done that. We could have started a fire. But the only time I remember things got a little unexpected, he would get, I think they were called cherry bombs. No, something blossoms. Maybe but anyways, they would spin on the spinning blossoms. Maybe they would spin on the ground, and they'd make this this sound. He loved those things. We loved those things as kids. And anyway, they would hop around, kind of a thing. So we would do this, like I say, out in the middle of the cul-de-sac street at the end, and my dad would light them, and my dad always seemed to be in charge of that. And he'd light them, and they'd spin, and we just love them. They'd light up different colors. Again, if you remember the name of those, put it in the comments. But one time it bounced, like I said, they bounced. One time, I don't know, it bounced a long way into the neighbor's yard, and they were outside standing watching, and had to grab the water hose, put it out. Nothing caught on fire, but just to be safe. But that's the only time I remember anything kind of going not as planned. But we would do that. Gosh, like I say, that started, I think we were older, maybe 15, 16 by that time. We weren't allowed to do it. My dad would do it, and it was just a fun time. And it was so great too because our cul-de-sac street, we were just all kids. Every family pretty much had at least two kids, if not more. So I think at one time there were probably about 30 of us kids on that street, all within maybe a 6 or 7 year age range. So we had a lot of fun. But those 4th of July parties, like I said, we'd have the volleyball set up. We would play softball. It was great for softball. Although we had a neighbor who lived next door to us on the south side, and they didn't have kids. And he was very protective of his yard, and he didn't speak English very well. He was from France. His wife was not, but he was from France. And I think his name was Antoine. And anyways, whenever we would play softball, whether that was 4th of July or just any time during the summer, because we played that a lot, us kids, if the ball landed in his yard, he would keep it and he wouldn't give it back to us. And thankfully, we were playing with tennis balls. I don't think we ever played with a softball. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but we'd run over there, and sometimes he'd be out there and the ball would land, and we'd like, "Can you give us our ball? Your ball shouldn't be on my lawn." Blah, blah. Every once in a while, he'd throw it back, but most of the time, he kept it. So not the friendliest guy, but a memory that stayed with me. But anyway, so we would play softball. And we would do the volleyball, badminton. Oh yeah, that's right. We did the badminton. Volleyball, I don't think we did as often. I think we did the badminton most of the time. That was a lot of fun. My dad actually enjoyed playing that. But it was just, fun. We'd have the music playing. So maybe you have some times like that on your street. Did you kind of have 4th of July parties on your street? Or were you going and visiting family somewhere? We never traveled for the 4th of July, but it was always at home. And it was always a fun time. And I don't know what we're going to do this year. We just haven't decided. We have a couple options, I guess, but I think as we get older, sometimes we were like, yeah, do we really want to stay up and see the fireworks? We've seen a lot of fireworks in our day, but I'm hoping we might find something that'll work for us. Lake Tahoe is nearby, but Lake Tahoe on the 4th of July is crazy. It is very hard to find a place to watch the fireworks. And it's very iffy if it's windy because of the fire danger there. So, anyway, I'm hoping we can find something fun because it is a special 4th of July. So, I hope you'll share what you might be doing for this special 250th celebration. So now I wanted to share my 4th of July decorations. So I'm going to run the videos for that, and I'll have some pictures at the end after everything got done. So I hope you enjoy that. I'm getting the stuff out for the 4th of July, and I just thought I'd share what I have. So these are always fun, the hats. They never seem to stand upright though, huh? But I think you can stuff them, so I think I might do that. So yeah, so I've got that. I think I have a couple of those. And it's always fun to pull these out because you never remember what you have. And I got a banner, kind of old school. So I decorate the mantle, so this will go on the mantle. So that'll look good. And another hat. Might do these on the coffee table maybe. Got that. Let's fold that up a little nicer for now. And what else is in the box? Fan. Oh, this is cute. Little candle. I never put a candle in it, but I like the The decoration is nice. And then I have my bunting, so that goes out front. So I'll show that later once I get that set up. And then some of the old school looking kind of little flags. I like the canvasy material. I think it looks older, Americana style. And oh, this is a pillow cover for in the living room, family room. So that's nice. Again, it kind of matches that older style. And oh, my little Uncle Sam. Little Uncle Sam. I like him. He's broken. I've tried to glue him before. He doesn't want to glue, but you put it in something, don't move it around. It works pretty well. And of course the beads, 4th of July beads. And a flag. I kind of use that as a centerpiece type thing. Couple bowls. Put those on the kitchen counter with little candies and stuff. Some of that old school ribbon. Some party favor bags. I don't know what I'll do with those. Not sure about that. And then some napkins. I'll probably put those with that on the counter. So that's box number 1. So not bad. Okay, so this is box number 2. My little patriotic bear. Gotta have my bears, right? So he's jointed, so he sits up, so that's good. Up some more of that old school ribbon. I got my flags. These I usually put outside on the patio. Little one. Oh, the little sparkler thing. That one you got to put in something to keep it to stand up. And I don't think it'll fit in that little candle holder. But I always find a place for that. And then some ribbon. This I usually put on my candle holders on the mantle. Got 2 of those because I got two candles there, glass vase candle holders that I use. So use that. These are just white napkins. And then, oh, these I think, I haven't used these in a while. These were little, I think, oh, I know what this, we had a little barbecue. So I made got these plain colored and put the stickers and whatnot. Anyways, we had them on the tables for peanuts. So that was kind of fun. And the red and then the blue. So like I say, that's kind of fun. So you can put candies or peanuts. So it's a great little centerpiece around. So we might use those again this year. So that's box number 2. And then this one I got a crafting project I want to do with that. One of the groups, nonprofits that I'm a member of, sent out in their mailer the Declaration of Independence. So I've had this for a while and just kind of held on to it. I think it was like on clearance when I bought it. What am I going to do with it? So I'm going to put that on there. I think that'll be pretty cool. And then I'll maybe put some decoration around the outside. So I'll show you that once I get that done. I'll probably post it in the community page so you can see what that looks like. But I thought that was kind of neat. I held on to it and then I thought, I wonder what I could do with that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I think that'll look nice. And then this is one of my favorite things. It's kind of those boxes in a box. So it's cute. So now all the boxes aren't here. This was another clearance thing I got somewhere. But it works really well on my mantle because I can separate the pieces, stand them up. So it just is a nice little decorative piece. So I get all these little pieces out of this. So even sometimes when stuff's not complete, you get it clearance, pieces are missing, you can still do something with it. So you can stand that up. I always put the lid, I think, on and stand it up like that. So yeah, it makes a nice little thing that you can put out on the, coffee table, or so it makes a nice little piece to kind of split it up and put it into different places. So I'm probably going to do that again this year like I've done in the past. But I'm eager to see how my panel board comes out with that on there. I think that'll be neat. And these are my two wreaths. So the bandana one with the canvas, I've been using that for years. I did not make that one. I bought that one. But it's a great idea. So if you do the rag wreaths, that's a cute idea. We get the bandanas, or you can just do a whole wreath of bandanas, right? Anyways, I thought that was really cute. And then the other one, the wood one, that one I made, oh my gosh, it's probably been 8 years or so, and it's hung outside on the wall. So as you can see, it has faded and it is in bad shape. So I need to do something with it to upgrade it a little bit for this year. I don't think I'm going to repaint it. I think I like is the natural, um, weathered. It's truly natural. So I think maybe I'll weave in some ribbon or something, or some fabric in between, something, but I don't think I'm going to repaint it. So I'll have to see what I come up with between now and the 4th of July on that. But I'm thinking maybe some fabric or ribbon on that might work really well. So to be determined. So we'll see. Okay, so now for the new stuff I just got. Went over to one of my favorite thrift stores in town to see what they had. It's getting kind of late, so they didn't have a lot, but you can't beat the prices at the thrift store. So these were super cute. A little fuzzy, that you can put in a planter or just stand up. Anyways, you got 6 of these. They were in the bag, so never been used, it doesn't look like. But anyways, you got 6 of those for $1. Can't beat that. And then also this one, take off it's nice that the price tags come off of these, so nice. But I got this for, what was this, 49 cents. Can't beat that. And then some stars garland there. That was 99 cents for that. And again, it's nice that their stickers just come right off. Super handy. So yeah. 99 cents for that. And then a little more garland. I'm not sure. I might use this on that, the wood, with the Declaration of Independence. Maybe I'll cut this or something. Anyway, 99 cents for that. So it's just the garland with the flag on it. Matches my old school style. And then they had some fabric too. So that one, this was $2.50 for that one. And this one was $2. So I'm going to do probably some rag wreath on this, or maybe I'll cut it and decoupage it in on that Declaration of Independence. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so not bad for my little, like I said, they didn't have a lot left, but this works for me, so I'm excited to kind of plug this into my display. So that's my decoration materials. So now it's to getting the family room and decorated. So let's see how that goes.
Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the step, and with the girls be handy.
So I hope you enjoyed watching the decorations. And if you have a favorite decoration, I'd love to see it in the comments. Maybe share a photo of it. Of mine, that new one that I'm going to make with the Declaration of Independence on it, that may become my new favorite. But I love my little ceramic, the little tiny Uncle Sam that I showed you, the one that's kind of broken, but I still use him. That's one of my favorites. And my teddy bear with the bugle horn, that's my other one, I think, of the ones that I have. So maybe again, you have some that you'd like to share in the comments with a photograph, and why that's an important one. Or maybe you have some that have been passed down over the years. That would be really neat. I don't have any of those, but that'd be neat to see those too. So I hope you'll share some of your favorite 4th of July decorations. Well, again, happy official start of summer. So I hope you have some fun things planned this summer. I'm looking forward to this summer. My retirement date's getting here pretty quick, June 30th. So after June 30th, I kind of feel like I'm going to be on a permanent summer vacation. So anyways, it's going to be fun. And we have our trip planned in July. So I'll be talking about that probably next week on my video. So if you're interested and want to hear a little bit more about that, I hope you'll join me next Sunday on the porch. And we'll talk a little bit more about wrapping up work, retiring, and the start of the next chapter. So thanks again for joining me. I'm Sweet Melba, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.